I know it's weird to say congratulations after a loss, but man, you earned so many new fans, including us two here. A lot of people for that grit, that determination, how humble you are after the fact, and the fact that I mean you put a world champion on his butt, man. And so just congratulations first off.
Thank you, man. Yeah, I mean, even though I lost, everyone's been congratulating me for the night.
Yeah, it feels like you introduced yourself in the ring. I know that you were here in Las Vegas in 2018, correct, at the Park MGM card?
What was that?
Was that you were in Las Vegas December of 2018 at Park MGM, correct?
Yeah, that was my first fight with Top Rank.
And I know Top Rank is super excited. So let's properly introduce you to folks. So Adam Lopez fights out of Glendale, and just took a fight on about 4 minutes notice against Oscar Valdez. So it was so we were at the weigh-in, and it was announced that Gutierrez, who was supposed to fight Oscar Valdez, was 11 pounds over. And lo and behold, Bob Arum was hot as fish grease. And as he was throwing Gutierrez out of the hotel, he was also saying, let's talk to Lopez and see if he'll take the fight. So were you hearing what was going on out there? When were you first notified that Arum wanted you to actually move to the main event and fight
It kind of came really quick. You know, I had weighed in. I walked out of the room. I left the room we weighed in at. I went to go eat, and I saw a couple of my family members, and I was still like right outside the room. And my manager grabbed me and said they wanted to speak with me. And I said, okay, what do we got going? Like an interview or something? And then she's like, no, they want you to fight Oscar Valdez. And I was like, wait, what? What's going on? And then they told me, yeah, he came in heavy, his opponent, and they're asking if you could step up and be in the main event against Oscar. And I looked at my coach. I was like, really? Because it was like, at first I thought they were messing with me. And then my coach was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, buddy, I could beat this guy. And my coach was like, okay, we'll let them talk it over with your managers. Let's go eat and see what happens. And that's just kind of how it came upon me. It kind of just happened really quick.
Well, so you are being trained by Buddy McGirt, and you also don't you have like a whole new team?
I recently just signed with Sheer Sports Management about 3 weeks before this fight.
So it's been a whirlwind. Everything was happening. They call you BluNose. Where now? I know there's a BluNose pit, but is that where the name comes from?
That's kind of where it came from. My brother, I think I was about 15. I think I was about 16 or 17. My brother would say I felt like a BluNose, and well, he said I felt like a pit bull. And then my favorite color has always been blue, and then he kind of just named me BluNose, and it kind of just stuck.
So you come from a boxing family, of course. Your father was a former champ. Your brother boxing as well?
Yeah, he had 11 pro fights. He took a step back from boxing and he started going to school, and he took up computer coding, and he just landed a really good job.
Oh.
So he's doing really good right now. He still trains every now and then. He still has the itch to fight, but you know, boxing is a very tough business, and it's hard to make money. And when you're not making money, you're not really eating much, and you know, you got bills to pay, and it's just a tough business. And for me, I kind of caught success early on taking on those tough fights. I was on TV, I think my 6th fight, and I started making decent money. And my former manager at the time just kept putting me on those tough fights, and you know, I was getting by, and I saw the future, and I just stuck with it.
I talked with you briefly at the end of the event. And your brother was your hype man. You know, he was like, my brother's going to be a problem. You're going to see him again. And this is only the beginning. So who took the loss harder, you or your brother?
I think my brother definitely. He's still mad. He jumped in the ring after the fight. They were trying to stop him from getting in the ring. He's like, you guys better get out of my way. That's my brother up there. And he jumped in, and he was pissed off. He was yelling, and we're all like, yo, calm down. It's all right, man. You know, we're on TV here. We got to relax.
Calm yourself down. Did you think the stoppage was early? Have you watched it back?
Yeah, I watched it a few times. I definitely think it was a little early. I honestly, like, that's when I started feeling clear, you know. I was seeing clear. My balance was good. I was finally, recovered. I felt completely recovered at that point, and he kind of just hit me with the arm punch, and it looked a lot worse than it was. Like, it pushed my head back, but I was fine. And the ref just jumped in and stopped it. It's unfortunate, but that's boxing. I can't really go back to it now.
Right. How eager are you to run it back with Valdez? Do you think now it'll probably be a little bit tougher to get that second fight now that he knows that you can put him down like that?
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to be tough to get it out of him. I mean, he told me he'd give it to me, but I know it's ultimately up to his people. It's not up to him.
Right.
So we're just going to have to just see what happens. Definitely, I know it's not going to come in the next couple months. He's got to go get his belt at 130. I'm going to go back down to 26, get my belt, and then hopefully 2021, I can go up and take his belt and become a two-time world champion.
Hey, I can definitely see it happening. What did you learn as a result of that fight with Oscar? I mean, it's probably like your best competition so far, right?
Yeah, the fight definitely gave me some confidence. I got in there with one of the best fighters in the world, and I showed I belong. But definitely what I took most from it was, I think the build-up alone was the hardest task. As soon as the fight got announced, my phone was ringing. I had to do interviews. I had to do photo shoots, and this was right after the weigh-in. So I had just, drained my body to make weight. I just ate, and then it was just like right away. Got to go back to photo shoots, interviews, ESPN fighter meetings, sitting and talking with everybody, and then I finally got to my hotel room, and I went to sleep. So for me, that was the most out of it, but I took it all like a learning experience, and I got a lot out of it.
Now, did you weigh in at 126?
Yeah, I was 126 on the dot.
So, and Oscar was 130 on the dot. Did they talk to either one of you about any rehydration clause, or they were just like, just go for it?
No, I actually asked if we could put that in the contract. He can't go over 140, and they said, okay, the most we could do is 142. And he actually weighed 139.8 the morning of the fight.
What did you weigh?
I was 134.
That was close enough. Right?
Yeah, close enough.
Still under that 141 that Gutierrez came in at.
Right.
That's for certain.
Now,
yeah, definitely.
With all this, kind of success and everything, you signed with TopRank. You're doing your fights and everything, and now all this attention on you after the Valdez fight. You got a lot of more people calling your name, probably. I can only imagine the whirlwind you're dealing with right now. How do you, as a fighter, keep yourself level and keep grinding out and saying, hey, I still got a ways to go, and how do you stay focused?
Honestly, I prepared for this moment since I started boxing. I knew it was going to come eventually. It just came a lot quicker than I anticipated. I wasn't expecting to get a big fight like this for maybe, another year. But since I turned pro, before I turned pro, I always knew this time was going to come, and I was going to have eyes on me, and people were going to see what I could do in there, because yeah. I've always known I got something special in the ring, and it was just a matter of time before the world could see it.
Man, and a lot of the praise that you get, that you are getting right now is, after the fight and they're talking to you in the ring, your humbleness, how humble you are as a fighter. Even though a lot of fighters probably would have been protesting a lot and jumping up and down and everything else, but you stayed calm, you stayed collected, and a lot of people were commenting on how humble you seemed as a guy. But I know that's got to be fake, right? I know you ready. You got some Versace, shoes ready to on you eyeballed on. I know that's not really you, right? Where did you get that humbleness from, man? It's got to be moms and dads.
That's who I am, man. That's me all the way. I was mad after the fight, and as soon as my manager jumped in the ring, I said, "Yo, I want a rematch right away." Yeah. And she was on the phone. She was talking to our partners, and she said, "Okay, just make sure you say it on camera. Make sure everybody can hear it." I said, "Okay." And that's me. I'm not one to talk smack or nothing. I give respect to Oscar. He's a champion. He's done a lot in this game.
Right.
That's me. I didn't go out and start spending money, and I'm trying to save this money, and can't forget about Uncle Sam. I got to save money for that too.
Man, I'm not trying to be in your pocket, but I know that check was different on Saturday than it was supposed to be on that Thursday, Friday. I know that. So
Yeah, it was a lot different for sure.
yeah,
That's good.
we're not inviting Uncle Sam anywhere.
No. He's not invited. He's not invited. Well, kind of looking at things. Today, the International Boxing Hall of Fame announced their 2020 inductees, and included Bernard Hopkins, Juan Manuel Marquez, Sugar Shane Mosley, people like that. Was there a fighter that you looked up to when you were growing up and when you started training that you could really recognize with and idolize?
I can't say I did. Growing up, I didn't really watch much boxing. My mom really tried to keep me away from it.
What?
Okay. I would say my father definitely.
Right.
I would have his old fights. I'd have his old interviews, and I saw the way he carried himself, and I really looked up to him and saw how he did it. Definitely my dad. And then once I started getting trained by Buddy, I looked how he would fight and how he did his interviews and how he carried himself, and that's kind of how I really looked up to. But I didn't really have too many fighters I looked up to growing up.
Anybody current? Anybody current that you kind of just keep an eye out for?
I like what Mikey Garcia is doing. He's challenging himself, which is something I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
Lomachenko, I really like watching. He's one of a kind. Yeah. Even still today, I don't watch too many fights.
There you go. See, I'll tell you, that's that humbleness. He's looking in the mirror right now. He's going, I'm only watching me. I'm
like
only watching me,
biceps
baby.
And is that what you're doing? Hey, you worked with Buddy McGirt leading up to last week, and what were some of the things that Buddy challenged you to do?
Before the fight, or
No,
just in
camp.
general?
Just in camp. I mean, he is a Hall of Fame trainer. Not many people get an opportunity to work with that caliber of a trainer. And so, what were some of the things that he helped you do that were a little different?
The main things we focus on in camp are, keeping my emotions in check. Because once you get hit, you usually want to go back and fire back right away. So that's like one thing that he definitely has to keep in check. And we just really focus on fundamentals, good defense, a good jab. And with me, Buddy knows that a lot of my natural abilities will eventually take over once I get in my rhythm and once I set up everything. So that's the main thing he wants me to do, is set up everything with the jab, head movement, some good feints, and everything else will follow.
You said something really interesting that caught my attention. You said about keeping your emotions in check. In my observation, Oscar Valdez is an emotional fighter, especially since we've seen him after what happened with Scott Quigg. Did you notice that at all? Like, did you all
I
talk
definitely
about that
noticed
camp?
it. Yeah, honestly, before, when I was in the fighter meeting, they said, "What do you know about Oscar, and what do you think that you have an advantage over him?" And I said, he's an emotional fighter. He fights with his emotions. Once he gets hit, everything goes out the window, and he comes guns blazing.
He wants
and
to
I said,
fight.
once I get him to lose his, once I see him lose his emotions, I know I got him.
Very cool. So what's next, man? Before we let you go, let's find out what you got cooking for 2020 and where we can find you.
2020, it's going to be a big year. Top Rank is really happy with what happened last weekend. And like I said, I'll be fighting at 126 still. Unless Oscar wants a rematch, I have no problem going up. But 2020, hopefully capture a world title at 126, defend it, and then shoot for 130, go back for Oscar. And if he don't want it, then I don't know. We'll see what happens.
He don't want it, but he might have to get it. So.
I might have to press him for it.
Well, you like I said at the beginning, you've earned a ton of new fans, and nothing but success to you in the next year, my friend. And you know what? I can't wait to talk to you again after you capture that title at 126. And you know what? I hope like maybe a year from now, you and Valdez run it back again and give us a Fight of the Year candidate.
Oh, let's give your social
we will
media
definitely
out.
get it. It's BluNose Lopez on Instagram, BluNoseLopez.
There you go. BluNose Lopez. Thank you so much for taking time out, man. And like we said, nothing but success to you.